Thanks for joining us for another Kickstarter conniption. Today we've got USS Freedom by Dreamcraft Games.
And as always, we want to make sure you're aware that our Kickstarter conniption videos are sponsored in part by our Kickstarter backers, as well as the creators of this game. Joining us at Tantrum House Studio 3, I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Apprentice Dan, and today we're doing an overview of USS Freedom by Dreamcraft Games. It's a 1 to 6 player cooperative open world sandbox type game out in space, and it takes about an hour to play.
Each round of the game will be one of many missions that kind of build together an entire campaign, so that if you play through the entire game, you're going to get this huge storyline.
That's right. During a mission, you're going to be trying to encounter something, trying to defeat something, gain some kind of knowledge, and that will basically lead you to trying to make one of the alien races really happy and your friend so that you can go back in time to save the Earth from being destroyed.
Right. Each encounter in the game may have you in a different place, so you may be fighting on an alien planet, you might be fighting against different titans or different phenomena that are going on in the galaxy.
That's right, and there are a bunch of different things that you can face. You will experience things where you do ground combat on a board like this, or maybe you're fighting on the spaceship itself. But there is a bigger board that's maybe, 4 times bigger than that, where you're on the ship fighting in space against another spaceship.
Right, so we've got a prototype copy of the game. Let's take a look at how it's played.
To set up the game, place the interstellar map on the table and set up the alien ships and reputation dice in their starting positions.
Place the various cards and other game components to the side, as they may or may not be used in this encounter.
Give each player their own ether pouch with crystals. The team also receives 1 goods token and 3 credits.
Each alien ship will move according to a die roll, and then it's time to set up the encounter deck.
Depending on your location on the map, your encounter choices will feature any planet aliens, along with cards from any sector you're touching. Draw random cards and place them around the starship hex, and then choose which direction you want to go.
Once you've selected, flip the card and see what awaits you. You may head into combat, or the aliens may give you a mission, and you have choices on how to respond.
If your encounter results in combat, players will select and distribute 12 heroes evenly and place their standees on the ship.
The enemy ship will draw an action chip to determine its action for the round, place any missiles fired on the appropriate spots, as well as randomly placing thruster and shield tokens.
Ether is drawn from your pouch and placed on the heroes, allowing them to use whatever special ability matches that color. Your heroes will then take turns moving around the ship and repairing damage.
They can also create energy, and then use that energy to engage the thrusters, fire weapons, and generate shields.
On the enemy's turn, flip over any incoming missiles and deal that much damage to the hex on the ship. You can use shields to reduce the damage being dealt.
Defeating an enemy will potentially give you rewards that include more commodity chips, money, or increasing the aether level on one of your crystals. You can also gain or lose reputation with that race.
You can then trade goods as well as purchase upgrades to your ship.
If over the course of the campaign you're able to get your reputation level up to a 6 with one of the alien races and fulfill their mission, you win the game.
Yeah, and those alien races all kind of have different objectives that seem to fit their personalities. Like the Aeons really just seem to hate everybody, so they want you to be enemies with all the other races, but be really friendly with them. Others, you have to get a certain amount of credits, you have to destroy so many titans, or investigate phenomena. There are a lot of different options out there to choose from, and they kind of give you some flexibility within the campaign, even from play to play.
Yeah, the game campaign is huge because you've got 36 specific missions that you're going to be trying to achieve over the course of those campaigns, but every time you play the game, you could play those 36 over and over and over again, because you're not going to get the same experience. Different cards are going to come out, you're going to be facing different choices each time you play the round. Huge sandbox, lots of different levels. You're in the ship, you're on the planet, you're on their ship, all over the place. Just really huge world.
Yeah, and even as you travel, you start out and you're only going to face certain, races as you're in one part of that interstellar map. But then as you move, all of a sudden your cards are going to shift. So if the next time you play that campaign, you decide to go a different direction, you're not even going to touch this until much later in the game. So really cool sandbox environment there.
Yeah, and the game has a great saving mechanic. You've got that map that maps out where everything else is on the board. You can actually track where the ships were at the end of the game and where all your pieces were, so that as you put it away and pull it back out the next time, setup is ready to go. The game features minis and standees. We obviously, like we said, are looking at a prototype copy of the version, so be sure to check out their campaign to see what all the final components look like. Lots and lots of options and things going on in the game.
Yeah, and even though there is, with a game like this, there's a lot of times luck because you're dice rolling all the time over and over for combat. This is more about, the randomness of the missile chips and what number that's going to flip up. But you have the ability to mitigate that by choosing where your energy goes. So, I played a game where I had 3 missiles coming in one quadrant. I knew, okay, I need to put a bunch of shields there because I'm about to get hammered. So you have that ability to mitigate what luck there is, and it's not all about are you rolling the right numbers.
Right, and it is cooperative, so you can play together as a team. So if somebody knows all the rules and has everything well versed, everybody else can kind of jump in and play easily without having to read through a giant instruction manual. The game does feature bunches of art. All the aliens looked pretty unique. All the flavor text and the story behind it seemed really fleshed out. The story for the game itself is actually pretty hilarious. We didn't really mention that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. So the short version is that Earth is about to be destroyed by a comet, and the Archons send a ship to go and save humanity, but they can only save 32. So why do we have all these heroes in the game? Well, they unknowingly land next to a game convention with a bunch of cosplayers.
Love it.
And the cosplayers come out and they're like, whoa, special effects, this is awesome. And they just board the ship, and the Archons are like, that was easy. So then they leave, and there's all this alien technology and stuff that happens in space travel, and you're basically imbued with whatever you were dressed as. So if you're Thor, all of a sudden you have lightning power. So I think that's pretty unique, a funny storyline. I've heard a lot of people say that would be a great TV show.
It really would, yeah. And the fact that the comet is headed towards Earth wasn't a coincidence. They actually veered it that way. It's about to destroy. They didn't want to deal with the paperwork of having to wipe out an entire race, so they just saved a couple people. Pretty funny, pretty well thought out. A lot of cool stuff going on in this one.
Yeah, so cool backstory. If you were a Comic-Con player and you had the ability to have certain skills imbued with you, who would you want to be? What would you want to, Lara Croft or Thor? What are we talking about here?
We gotta have superpowers.
Let us know down in the comments what you would like to be. And as always, check out more Tantrum House. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more awesome board gaming content.
Okay, I think we can just wing it and see what we get.
All right.
That's how I like to roll.
Oh, that's right. I'm going first. All right. Thanks for doing this.
If during the campaign you're able to achieve a level 6 something reputation, one take wonders.